Puli. Puli. I didn't call it.
Richard.
Ami Kuku. It's at your piko, not your ma'i. All new. Kaholo. Don't drag your feet. Quarter turn. Half turn. Now. Kaveru. Change. Step. One. Ueke. Uehe. Lower, wider, wider. Your feet farther apart, farther apart. Kaholo. Tells me you don't know what uehe is. Quarter turn. Are you warmed up? Okay, what song are you going to do? Are you all agreeable? Namakani eha?
Hi.
Yes. Okay, singing and... Gone.
Hino kuinu ikino Ho imaya wiane Kaulu behi o ke kola Me Kale Ika makani Dun 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 E wahine o e no lau mai E nani haore no Aweke no o e kawikela E wehi no kuinu ikino O iwai au iane Ka uru wehi o ke ko'ola Me Kale That's right. Dun, 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 dun. He wahine o e no Perekunu He nani maore no Kaweke o e kawike lai He rehi no kuinu ikino O imai au iane Ka uru wehi o ke ko'ola Me Kale Ika makani That's when He wahine o no He nani maori no Kaweke o e kawikela E wehi no kuinu ikino O imai au iane Ka uru wehi o ke ko'ola Me Kale Ina makani Aina. Aina mai ka puanala. E uri maorino. Me kua ala o nauna. Reino kuru hino. Ho ilai au ianei. Ka uru vehi o ke ko ola. Ka makani. Eha o mono ka inui ahina Ina mai ka puanala ka uri maore no me na kua ala o naunala le ino ku'uri kino Ho imai au ianei, ka ulu vehi o ke ko ola, ka makani. Eha, mono ka inui ahina, na makani. Eha, na makani. Eha namakani Eha Liu liu hai kau kau ka mola lele mau ka makai o ka papalai Maloko Ina ka pului o hahune lai anue koe koe maleno ai ke kanaka e komo maloko e hanai ia ne vai ka waha Iano kaukulao ka leo a he leo maleno ai It's rush. Thanks. Great day.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, oli pa'u. Hakua pa'u, ahuna ki ke pa'i ka pa'u. Noe noe iho o lua, iho o kakua ia pa'a, hiluna o ka ingu. Hua hua o ka pali o ka vai kapu. E kuina pa'u palino o kupe hau. I holoa pa'a ia pa'a e hono kane. I holoa pa'a ia pa'a e hono kane. Malama o lilo I ka pa'u. Holo I hola ke ala ka manu I ka pali. Pali ku ka hako hakai. ana. Iho onu anu ai luna o ka awana.
Anything else you wanted to do in particular?
Not really.
Okay.
It's your class now.
All right, let's warm up just a very little bit, and then we'll go start going over all our dances for next Saturday. So 3 lines, good.
Mother, daughter, separate.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll separate. This is for kids, Sharon.
For the whale, yes, the whale festival. Oh. What do you short warm up? Hello. Hello. Welcome. Emma. Okay, stretch a little bit. Kama, you can, where'd Kama go? You can sing with me, with us.
Are you hurt?
Yeah, she took her back.
Oh, she's limping.
Find your groups.
Don't watch your feet.
On request. Pu'upilo. Sit back down.
All right, let's do, everybody do your verse. We'll do it all together. And then hyena, and then we'll do it like for real. Verse, second verse, third verse. 2, 3, 4. With the lele, not a tap. Again, try and feel the dancers next to you. Ho'imai. Ho'imai au iane. Baby, okay, ko'ola. Closer. Hold your leg. Yeah. And your wind. other side.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So just ka'uluwehi. I know Lauren, you're one of the early ones. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o. Hold your lei first. It's the decoration, adornment. Ready? Hanaho, ho'i. Ho'i mai au ia nei. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o. Still a little early, Rini. A little late now, Lauren. Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Is it timed with your steps? Because you're like...
Do it with the words.
The words.
Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o.
La.
Ka'uluwehi oke. It's the oke ko'o. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it. Ho'i, 2, 3, and. Ho'i mai au ia nei. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o lau. Pretty close. One more time. Ho'i mai au ia nei. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o lau. Ha'ina, 2, 3. Ha'ina mai Kokua na lau. Lau ki mau no. May look up and there flowers. Now good. Adore. Ho'i mai au ia nei. Ka'uluwehi oke ko'o lau. Nice. Lamakan. Molokai, always right. Molokai nui aina. Lamakan. Relax your elbow. Molokai. Molokai nui aina. Lamakan. Up and bring. Yeah, I don't know, sometimes I play it there, sometimes it's not consistent. Okay.
Aloha everybody, my name is Wilmont Kamaunu Kahaialii. We want to say Mai Ke Ola Koa Paulua. Welcome to all of you who are tuning in. We are here in the halau of Auntie Roselle Keali'ihonipua Bailey.
Please don't call me Auntie.
Okay, Maikai.
You may call me Roselle. You have a choice of using Flora or Keali'ihonipua
Keali'ihonipua
Bailey. So whichever you choose. And I can tell you why. The only people I know who can call me Auntie are my real relatives.
Spoken like a true kupuna. So simple. That's the kind of stuff we need to take and put in a fortune cookie. So when they crack them up, hey, don't use auntie unless you ohana.
Yeah.
Really mahalo for allowing us to come into your halau to have this kuka session. Because we started this nonprofit organization called Aloha Legacy Films.
Oh.
And so you are our first story.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And it's my pleasure to have you in. This room is called Hoku Ali'i, this building.
Why Hoku Ali'i?
Hoku Ali'i is the name for Venus. And Venus is in the evening, and it's going down now. It's beginning to set. And Hula was based around Venus.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
Oh.
How
Auao and...
Yeah. So how does that, this is really interesting. I never really anticipated to come in talking about ethnoastronomy and its relationship to hula. So share a little bit about that.
Hula teaching was done in the evening time, and especially on the Hoaka moon and Venus.
Kane vale no, wahine vale no, men exclusive or men and women?
Men and women. They never separated the genders. That was one of the kapu things that was never employed in the education of hula. It was combined. And of course, there were rules to make sure they didn't have any sexual contact.
Well, I would imagine that'd be pretty hard for back then.
I think so.
You know, but then if you abide by the kapu, then your chances really embodying the true essence of aloha, hula
Yes.
would manifest, yeah?
Yes. And hula is the study of spiritual humanity. And to be able to take an action that then causes a reaction, and that reaction and action then gives enlightenment.
Wow. Wow. You know, I love this because I remember when I was a kid, Hanabata days, hula was just ho'omali mali wale, no, you know, just all for the tourists and etc. But as I've gotten older, I've developed a deeper appreciation for the true ano of hula, which is something, and Auntie, I've been looking through the things that have been written up about you and your halau, and I've been really impressed because I think you embody that so much that you have been able to take that message to other places around the world.
Yes, we have.
What has been some of the places that gives you great joy that they're embracing this part of you, your teaching?
Oh, my teaching. Okay, that narrows it. Great joy is when they see the light, and the light being laka, where there is no ego.
Ooh, good one.
And the other part of that secret is what you see in the front. You don't know what's in the back.
Because you really don't need to, yeah?
No, you don't
Yeah,
need to.
indeed.
And if you live the light and and the values set forth not only by the mo'olelo or the mele or the oli or pule, you don't need to know what's in the back.
You know, thank you for mentioning that. I wanted to maybe kind of explore a little bit about some of that. A hakumele, what is a hakumele?
To compose.
So it's a composition.
Yes.
Do you have any favorite hakumele or compositions out there?
Of my own?
Of your own?
Yes, I do. That's why I wanted to film out on the lanai looking at pu'u kukui.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be my kai.
Yes, but I was told it's not the right time.
Aye. So you are a kumuhula. You are
Those are just labels.
hakumele, fables,
Labels.
labels. But there's something to it where I think the community outside of your halau, they are drawn to you by those labels. But then once they get into your presence, they realize
They're hooked.
there's something past the label.
It is past the labels. They become believers in spiritual humanity. And getting back to our topic,
Yeah.
aloha.
Yeah. I like that. How has aloha figured in, well, first in your upbringing in hula? Where does that begin for you?
I don't think aloha figured in the upbringing, in my upbringing in hula, because when my girlfriend and I didn't feel like going, we played hooky from hula. Walked very slowly down the beach, looking at the shells.
Mina.
Yes. And then watch the time. Oh, we still have time. I mean, we didn't have a watch. The sun was our time.
Oh, yeah. Aye.
And then go back and see if anybody's home, climb up the tree and sit there and watch the ocean and everybody going by.
He li'i ko lohe wale no.
Yes.
Li'i ko lohe. But when did it finally become something that you didn't want to play hooky anymore?
I don't know, because more mom than dad made me go to hula. And after a while it becomes a habit. But I don't know when I became attached.
It was still a growing process.
It was very much a growing process. And sometimes confusion came in. You know, this is Second World War. That's when I started.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 4 years old, and in that time period, the Second World War started. And I remember my dad coming home from work. He was a police officer in Lahaina. And we asked, why are you home? I mean, we didn't ask, but
Right.
Mom asked. And he said, the Japanese have bombed Pearl Harbor and they're around looking for spots to. So go back home, go inside, and I have work to do. And he went out and notified the community. And in those days, community was within your small township, not this larger community which expanded to the whole state. Every island, every moku ahupua'a, in the so-called, well, we were territory at that time, had their own community and rules and things that they followed, customary rules, as well as, what's the word I want? Anyway.
Maybe like practices?
No, as well as the American rule.
Oh, got it. Aye.
And I was really shocked in my later years with my cousin to find out that in order for Dad to belong to the police department, he had to sign a piece of paper saying he would a loyalty piece of paper to the United States government.
Wow, this is back in 1941?
Somewhere around
Yeah?
there. Yeah.
And he still had to sign a pala like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that must have come as a shock.
And my grandfather also had to sign a paper. When they're out on the ocean, he was out on the ocean. I don't know if my uncles did, because some of them were out on the ocean too. But anyway, it was a revelation that you cannot be a man on a boat or a ship without this declaration of loyalty to the United States government.
You know, I want to explore that a little bit further in our discussion, but you got me to thinking about the word or the name Hinau. Hinau seems to be a very Maui, prominent Maui ohana. I bring that up because I've seen Hinau. So who is Auntie Betsy to you then?
She's a cousin. Betsy is John.
She married Hinau?
Yes, Kenneth. Oh. And that's my cousin.
Mai ka'ino.
And Dad always made us on the Lindsay side. I'm a Lindsay. So Dad and Mom both always opened the doors to our relatives without saying how, where, when, or anything. This is your cousin. And that was all, you know. And that's part of aloha. You didn't have to question.
Yeah. You just knew.
Okay,
Yeah, you
yes.
just knew.
Yeah, they're saying this is your cousin. So we grew up loving them, but we were not close friends. They lived on another side of Lahaina, and we lived on the opposite side, but next to us was Tutulama's house.
The Hinao and Lindsay name figures prominently in Ukumehame.
Oh, yes.
Talk a little bit about that, can you?
That's where I was conceived.
Interesting.
Dad took Mom up into the valley, you know where the waterfall is? Not the big one, the little one, and then up above it to some of the lo'i that he and his brothers had to tend to, whatever that meant.
Do you remember the name of the
No, I
the
don't.
wahipana?
No,
Because
I'm sorry.
some of the names are Makapue Oiki, Kalele, is it not Kalaikini, Pua'a. There's also, in fact, somebody has the lo'i, yeah? Is it Ekolu? Somebody's taking
in
care of them.
we
in
are.
Ukumehame. Is that you guys?
Yeah.
Right on, right on. Because no kamea, every time I go to Ukumehame, it just means something to me to know that there are still ho'ilina living today who have a'alepoina no lako. They have not forgotten that kuleana and that spiritual attachment to that.
Yeah, except we're
Wahipana.
getting old.
I can
we-
pass to the next generation.
Well, that's what my nephew told me when I talked with him about something. And he said, Auntie Roselle, yeah, you folks have done your work. Now it's our generation. Okay, but you know, our families are small. Uncle Charlie has 2 kids and so forth.
Right.
So anyway.
I got so many questions I want to ask you about Ukumehame,
I
especially
don't
about the
remember
Tuheao.
place names and things because it wasn't when you're a child growing up, and Dad took us hiking in all those valleys. And he focused on not so much place names as how to survive in each valley where you're passing through kahuna la'au, lapa'au, home and place, and that's about all. And do not camp
Right.
close to the river because you don't know when the river is going
Could
to
rise.
rise.
Aye.
So we'd walk with him and he'd show us where we could camp. And then Grandpa Joe, who was my grandma's half-brother, he was the Hinau. Hawaiian genealogy. When they are of the same generation, like my grandma was Grandpa Joe's generation, and Grandpa Joe even said, don't call me Uncle Joe, you call me Grandpa Joe. So they become your grandfather and grandmothers to you, and your mother and father's generation become, all their siblings become your mothers and fathers to you.
That's why you still call them makua.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Grandpa Joe said, yeah, he related a story that some people would come up and ask if they could take stones for their buildings or whatever they were building. And he said, yeah, but do not, how did he put it? I forget. Take only those that you can lift up. Do not pull anything out from the riverbed. That's my words, but I can't remember his words. They stay because, why? Because it holds the water and breaks the water up.
You start to hop by the pohaku and then away, everything
Yeah.
will start to wash down.
Right, yeah.
Which I think is what happened to the one hale that used to be on the Popolo Kuleana, and then the flood came and never had pohaku or la'au for block.
No.
God.
And no auais that took the auais, oh listen to me, put an S on a Hawaiian word. Oh well.
'Cause you can.
That's the generation I grew up in. Actually, the plantations followed the auao to transport their water.
That makes sense.
And then they improved it.
Do you remember anything about your childhood in Ukumehame?
Only about hiking in there and camping in there with mom and dad, and they're teaching us plants and animals. And
Do you have any songs or chants that reference Ukumehame?
no, I just did I did haku a mele, referencing that in the mele.
Wow.
But
I'd like to hear it.
oh no, no. Some of our students know it.
Oh, good. Good. Because that means that the next generation can preserve it.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And we did a hula noho and a hula ku with it.
I so want to do a Ukumehame Hula Festival because the kupunas that are sleeping there right now are make no lako e hoi mai na hoi na. You know, they want the descendants to come back and just to reaffirm the legacy.
Yes. Boy, this is really going way overboard with what we thought we were going to talk
Well,
about.
because aloha is the legacy.
That's right, it is. I don't think I should tell you this one.
Okay, that's fine. That I can respect and appreciate because
Yeah.
there are some things that can be disclosed
Yes.
and other things are,
Yeah.
kapu.
It was on my tongue,
Yeah.
ready to come out, and I go, nope.
Yeah, yeah,
It's-
polole. I've had that happen to me plenty times.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll go tell you a funny story about Ukumehame. I was cruising, coming back from a gig in Wailea, and as I'm approaching Ukumehame, I see this patrol car, security patrol car, come out, make a U-turn, go back. I go, oh, security, mai kai. I go, now, I want to go to the hill, blow my poo, and just ha'i. So the kupunas sleeping there know that I haven't forgotten them. So I drive up, I see the patrol car come around, make a U-turn, tail me all the way up to Ukumehame Heiau.
Oh,
On the other side, get hiki.
yes.
So I get up to Ukumehame and he goes, oh, excuse me, can I help you? I said, are you security? He goes, yeah. I go, you stay right there. So I take my poo. Poo. E nā kupune I o mo I ke awahi ka puno. E ho'olohina I ka leo o kam. He ka maua hana I mai ka hale kahaialii I alo. No. And by the time I got done, he didn't want to move. And he was like, whoa, what was that? I said, that was the kahea to let my kupunas know I will never forget them.
Yeah.
And I said, when you see me coming, please know that you have borne witness to this affirmation.
Yeah.
And he goes, Uncle, anytime. And then I left. Now, my son has, my sons have become, inherited the ano of how important Ukumehame is. So much so that they love going back to Malama the Heiau, Malama the Hawaiian. And even Malama, some of the kupunas who have come forward and said, I am here.
Yeah.
So, ono, that's the kind of stuff. Whew. Under one full moon, we can talk.
Yeah.
And the kupunas can be noho with us. Now, I want to talk about your, you're continuing with this legacy of aloha, but through your hula, you have shared that with other haumana from around the globe. So,
I don't discuss aloha as aloha with them. I do discuss, first of all, what mom and dad taught us without verbalizing.
I love it. You don't have to talk it, just live it.
First, kupono.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a big word, to be honest. But there's a process. You just can't say, be honest. Sorry, that doesn't work. If they haven't gone through the process of honesty, where you get a spank on the hand, which hand did it? Whatever it is,
Right.
then they have not learned kupono, to stand up on what is pono, right? And come together as honesty. So you go through the process of learning as a child to be honest. And the mothers all know. Fathers maybe somewhat. The mothers can read body language
True.
because they're the ones who are nurturing, and father helps the nurture, but he's basically away from
Yeah.
being with them all the
Yeah.
time.
Because he's out there trying to be the provider.
Right, yeah.
Whereas mom is the nurturer.
Nurture, yeah. And then the second part that we had to learn was malama,
What's malama?
to take care of, to nurture. So you want a dog? Well, here's what you have to do to have this dog. Are you going to do that? So, you know,
Boy, I remember those lessons.
yeah, we all do. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's imprinted. Or your job is to water the yard. Oh, I have a funny story, but I don't think my brother and his children would appreciate it. My job and my sister's job was to take care of the house. We alternated cleaning kitchen, cleaning house. And then we graduated to ironing
Yeah.
and, you know,
Yep.
those things. You don't finish your work, you don't go out to play. It's very simple. My brother sometimes cheated.
How do you do that?
He got the hose and sprinkled all the top of the plants.
Oh, so it looked like he would holoi every day, yeah?
Right. And then my mom would go out with the weeder or a knife and in the ground.
Bully the soil.
Yes.
Hey, bugger dry over here. Kolohe no.
So he had to repeat the work. And that's all part of malama. And then you, in the ocean, how you gather limu and which limu when, and catching crab.
You mean you don't just go you don't hapai any kind of limo anytime?
No.
How come?
Well, I don't know. That's what we were taught. I didn't ask why.
That's really interesting. Is
And certain limus for, well, we'll take limu kala for instance. That breaks automatically in high waves.
limu kala, that's the red one or the green one?
It's kind of the yellow
Okay.
with the little bubbles like, and we used to
Like
have fun-
nodules on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen to me, nodules. I only graduated Lahaina Lima. What am I saying? Nodules.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're actually seeds.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you didn't have to go break that. And sometimes the limu vavaiole breaks from the wave action and it comes up.
And that's the rat's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you learn the different kinds of limu, and in the summertime when we were hungry, we
Yes.
we dive
Yes.
for limu. And
You were never hungry
No.
if you knew what to look for. in
that's
the ocean.
right. And then it's mango season. Pick mango. Well, you like salty mango, dip it in the ocean.
when the ocean was clean back then.
That's right, it was clean. Oh, I'm going to hop to another subject because when we started having tourists and they put
Oh, yes.
suntan lotion.
Yes.
Who knows what they were like in those days, and it would leave in the ocean, close to shore, kind of an oil.
Yeah, film.
Yeah. And then the makua, kupuna would go out and gather lima, and they go, "Ugh, it's bad tasting." Hallelujah. The scientists today are saying, do not put that kind of on. We have a new one which doesn't affect. But you know, oh, you Hawaiians, how can you taste something like that? Well, if it's not part of your food, your natural food, you don't have a taste of anything for it.
You know, you mentioned that, and my mouth is watering because I can taste the vai ole of my childhood. And it was sweet and
Yes.
salty at the same time.
Yep.
I recently had one friend of mine who, when packaged some for me, gave to me. And when I ate it, I was like, you know, something tastes like plastic in the rat's feet now, you know. And boy, you mentioned that. Little did we know that the suntan lotion would have an adverse effect on the limu, the seaweed.
Yes.
And here we sing about limu in Auntie
Edith's song.
Kauluwehi o Kikai.
Yeah. Or even the song Kananaka from Lahaina.
Kananaka, the lipoa.
Yes.
Oh, Auntie, I like kanikapila now. We're talking about Kananaka and Kauluwehi o Kikai.
Yeah, and it's the rough season that breaks the lipoa. Is that what we were talking about? Yeah, off. So twice a year we could smell the lipoa.
I remember. In fact, by Mom, right outside Ukumehame,
Yes.
you knew the kala and palani was in the ocean because when you could smell the lipoa, you would go out to the ocean and you could see the tails out of the water because they're feeding on the lipoa.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, get choke out there.
Yeah.
No more now.
No, because people have not learned to harvest properly, and properly meaning how to harvest and when to harvest.
You're right. You're right, because Daddy used to only take us at certain times and in the morning.
Yeah.
And you know, go and just hapai the whole thing.
No.
You just take certain ones and then you leave the rest.
Yeah. Because
Always take what
somebody
you need.
else,
Yeah.
and they take only a little for them too.
I.
Actually, my favorite limu is lipepe'e.
Why is that?
It has a nice crunch,
Oh, yeah.
and it's peppery.
Lipepe'e. Now I like try.
And well, my siblings referred to me as the spoiled brat.
I can't imagine why.
I'm firstborn, so I would say I was also the punahele, special treated.
That's typical. The hiapo is always punahele
Yep,
because all the kuleana of
right,
before falls on
right,
their shoulders.
yeah. And Mom would fix. I don't know how to clean fish. And yet Dad was a fisherman too. I mean, the family went fishing and all that. My siblings do know. I've never gone fishing. Dad took us out on his canoe, one of his canoes, to go outside of the breakers on Uhailio. And there's the shark hole there.
Aye. That's your amakua.
That's right. Yeah. And so, you know, we're looking there, and pretty soon I'm getting seasick. And he tells me, swim home. And I have to swim
That's
home.
a long swim. I don't think people realize that's a long swim for a child.
Yes. But we were swimmers too. We played diving games in the shallow waters, all of us did.
But you guys had nothing to fear or be concerned about because your aumakua was always out there to make sure you guys are protected.
Yeah.
Wow, li pepe, and now I gotta go try.
And I also liked limu ele ele.
Yes.
And that's very rare.
Yeah. Hard to
I
find
don't
now.
think I've ever seen any down towards Makila. No, not Makila. Going towards Kanapali, what's the name of that place?
Hanakō'o. Not Hanakō'o.
Before Hanaka'o,
Yeah,
where the houses are.
Wahikuli.
Wahikuli.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot of that.
Right outside on the
Yeah.
rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty.
And limu ele ele.
You know, when I came home, speaking about Wahikuli, I remember trying to teach my children how to gather opihi.
Oh.
So, great childhood memory, you know, bought a knife, go hooky. So I go tell one of my kids, you know, go grab daddy that knife, and we're gonna bring for kata cake, large butcher knife. Big mistake. So, here's this nice fat opihi. This is the story of how the opihi got away.
Oh no.
Sitting on the rock, and I telling my sons, okay, watch now. You want to make sure you no lose this opihi. So you take the knife. By the way, never use a butcher knife to go gather opihi. You always use a butter knife or a flat spoon. You go find out why you don't use butcher knife. So I holding my hand like this. I get ready for hooky. Yeah. Poop! The opihi went bounce out of my hand. The blade went all the way through to the bone. I still got this scar right here.
Wow.
And I told my boys, and that's how you not pick opihi.
A negative to a positive.
Go around and tell your aunties, daddy needs help. So, went and being true descendants of the gift of La'au Lapa'au, my auntie, she take her tobacco. She would give me a hand. My hand's still bleeding like crazy. She said, give me your hand. She put her tobacco on my hand. She goes, okay, you squeeze your hand. I squeeze my hand. I can feel them burn. 3 minutes, she had me hold my hand like that. She goes, okay, open your hand. I open them. The bleeding stopped.
Wow.
She said, okay, you better wrap that up when you go home. Go put Band-Aid on. In 3 days, the bug went fused back together. That was my first real experience to La'au Lapa'au.
Yeah.
And how easy that came to my auntie. He
Yeah.
said, oh, you got to go get surgery. No, here. Hold. And I think that's one of the other parts of our quest for knowledge of the legacy of our people is to try and save that for the next generation so they know, you know, they don't always have to go around Long's Drugs for go get something.
Right. Right.
The Keakua when put things in this garden
Right.
for you.
Yeah.
And if you really want to know, go find the kupunas who lived it, are living it, and are committed to that knowledge. But you're not going to look for them for maho'i ni ele.
No. And they don't like maha'oi o ni ele.
Because I'm sure that, well, we've seen it, right? People who get maho'i ni ele, all of a sudden they get kapulu kapakahi with the ike.
Right.
And then you see them posting stuff and you're like, hey, wait a minute. That's not what my auntie taught me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of stuff we like avoid. So I'm hoping that by doing stories like this, we can sit with more kupuna. And there's a saying that goes, treasure up in your heart. Yeah. Treasures of knowledge, of wisdom. And our kupunas are the ones who hold that. And we want to find them and have this treasure serving as a repository for other haumana across the globe who honestly want to learn.
Yeah.
They want to grow and they want to perpetuate it for the right things.
Yeah.
Can we talk about some of your travels around the globe?
Sure.
Yeah. So the Olelo Hawaii for the globe or the planet is Honua.
Right.
And Roselle has traveled around the globe and has shared her knowledge and her wisdom with many haumana from across the honua through hula.
I have said I do not share because share is mahele.
Okay, okay. Enlighten me a little bit.
You work for it. And for my Europeans, sharing is giving. So I've seen the fishermen in Lahaina when they go fishing and somebody comes to help pull
Yes.
the canoe up.
Yes.
And then they take their hand and they grab 1, 2, 3, 4 tails. Depends on who they are or how hard they work or whatever. They make the mind up and share because you kokua,
Aye.
you help them.
Yeah.
And it's an appreciation.
Wow.
That's how I was brought up.
Aye.
And when we were kids, we shared our ice cream cone. Lick here, lick there, somebody else. But today we say, oh, germs. No, don't lick the ice cream. In fact, you use your own spoon.
Oh, never mind. It's chocolate. I share with you. It's chocolate, I guess, yeah. I love that wisdom because you're absolutely right. That there is something implied
Yes.
when you use certain words.
Yes.
And if you have to learn how to oli, how to ask for permission, then there is no sharing.
Nope.
You are working for it.
That's right. And the most common one, and it's I learned this from Auntie Kau'i, her picture's up there. Anyway, the most common, but now it's multiple, oli kahea in the hula world. But there's also an oli kahea in everyday life. It's not the same.
Aye.
But the oli kahea, the answer to the kahea is e hea I ke kanaka e komo māloko, e hanai ai ia hewa I ka waha, eia no ka ukula o ka leo, ahe leo vale no, ai. I mean, that's,
Wow.
so my student who teaches in California on the way back from Europe, shall we find Europe here?
Yeah.
It's over here.
See? I never travel around the world, that's why, so I don't know.
Anyway, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Here.
Wow.
So, and California, so I'm going back to California around here.
Wow, so you traveled from Europe to California. It's like traveling halfway across the planet.
And coming home is halfway across. It is.
Wow, Auntie.
And so the woman in the California class asked the question after I said, when you hear that kahea and you come in, you accept the conditions under which the kumu is presenting.
Aye.
And that is loyalty. Do not teach what you don't know and think you know, etc. You know, it's basically closed mouth until you really know the subject.
Aye.
And she said, that, she worked for a big venue in San Francisco area. And she ran the whole thing. And she said, that is the contract. Eia no ka ukula o ka leo. And that is your contract. if you accept the gift or the payment of this voice, then you have to accept everything that is given there. And I said, wow, I never thought of it like that. I don't think in terms of contracts, but her mind does.
Yeah,
And it makes sense.
it makes sense.
Because it's rules and regulations.
Wow. And for us, there was no need for that kind of terminology or understanding. It was just completely understood
Stood.
that I am bound.
Yes, exactly.
I asked for permission, Kumu granted me, but now I am bound to these
That's right.
kanawai.
Yes, absolutely right. And here it took a haole lady from California to reveal that perspective. You know, we say it's a entry, secret entry.
Yeah.
But no, it's a contract.
Well, you know where they get that kind of olelo from is like from books like the unwritten literature of Hula.
Yeah, yeah.
That says it's a secret passage where it's
Yeah.
like, no, don't romanticize it.
No.
Call it what it is.
Yeah,
You're asking for permission, and we're going to give it. But there are conditions that must be met.
right.
Or else you're just here to maho ini ele and kapulu kapakahi.
Right. And, well, this is where I was going. Our Maori friends, we were talking along this level, and they said, oh, that's mana munching.
Wow. Yeah.
So my students are very familiar with mana munching
And they see it a lot.
a lot.
Oh, Auntie, I've seen that a lot. And I think
It's discouraging.
it's the things we're talking about now are the things that are not taught in the schools today, because there is no comprehension or understanding or appreciation for why that's such an important value.
Which is malama.
Malama.
That's what it is. And it's kokua. That's the other value that. So you go through the process of malama. Then the next one is kokua. Kokua. How many times have you heard that from your parents or grandparents? And so you do. You learn to kokua. It becomes an automatic reflex. You don't have to think about it. It's there. But people don't kokua, or hardly kokua in everyday life today.
No, come here, it's not instinctive anymore.
No, it is not. Because kala.
I need one excuse. Oh,
Yeah.
$100. That's a good excuse for kukua.
Right, yeah. And then it's not kokua. It's a fee. It's an uku.
It's a We laugh, but that's true.
It is true. And today, maybe we can stop going around the world.
Okay. I remember, talk about aloha and uku.
Yeah.
So I went to a store. I'm not going to mention store, but I went to the store, and when my wife and I got through the door, there was a receptionist, and she said, "Oh, aloha," and she put this lei on me. And so I went to complete the ritual, the protocol, and so another one of those lessons learned. As she physically pushed herself away from me like
Yeah.
this. And so I took the lei off and I gave it back to her. And my wife goes, "Daddy, what'd you do that for?" I said, "Because in my house, I was taught that if someone gives you a lei
It says.
and they say aloha, then they're supposed to understand the whole
Concept,
protocol. Right?
yes.
I said, she didn't understand it. So the other lesson is, if you accept the gift from someone who doesn't understand it, then you just as complicit.
Yes.
So I had to return the gift.
Yeah.
And she was like, wow, that's so deep. I said,
That's how deep that word
yeah.
is.
You know, misuse that word.
No. And it's misused today.
Oh, plenty.
So often and in various ways. But I want to, before I go there, I want to go back to uku and contract. And, oh yeah, why did I want to go back
Well,
there?
we've never, nobody's explained uku to me this way before. I've always, of course, the uku, the head lice one.
Yeah.
But uku, there is a transaction.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
a transaction.
Wow.
Yeah, it's deep.
It is deep.
So it goes spiritual humanity, forthright to spiritual humanity again.
But what we don't realize is there is a spiritual transaction that takes place.
Yes.
And if we are ignorant of that transaction,
Yeah,
things can backfire real fast.
real fast.
Thank you. That is very enlightening.
So my European students, the core group, they look at who might be a mana muncher and not accept them into my classes. So that
Wow.
I won't have to deal with it. And they deal with it.
Wow, they got that kind of that gift or that ike to see that.
Yes, they do.
They perceive it, and now they're going to protect you.
Yes.
And protect this treasure of knowledge that
Yes,
they've been
yeah.
privy to. That is so powerful and beautiful.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's a great way or a testament to the aloha that you give through your hula without really labeling it. And they are experiencing it. And by experiencing it,
They know it.
They know it. It's manifesting to them.
Yes, it is.
That just gives me goosebumps.
And more than manifesting to them from our culture, but a recollection of
Yeah.
their culture,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
their ancestors had set that down. And it's enlightening for
Yeah.
them.
That light has always been a part of them, and it just took you to turn
Yeah.
out the flame and the spark.
Yes, yeah,
Now, how long have you been teaching abroad?
since 2000,
Whoa, 20 years now.
twice a year. And sometimes, there are a couple times, maybe 3 times.
So is this done through, do you have a foundation that allows you to do this?
We have a nonprofit institute.
Oh, is that the Imi Na?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. They all belong to it. They give a donation to the institute, and but they also maintain their own halal. Wow. I know it's a different concept, more or less, but actually, when you think in Hawaiian,
it is the truth
Truth, yes.
of
It's
how wide our ohana really is.
Yes,
Yeah.
the kokua, the malama,
Lama.
the kupono, the hana, and the aloha.
It sounds to me like you have helped others become the key pu'upu'u in this upena
I hope
around the
so.
world. And each key pu'u becomes an equally valued contributor to that
Yes.
journey.
Yep. And I really want everybody to work together.
So you don't think you have to be kanaka waleno for just
No.
no?
No. It's a humanity thing. Christ was that.
Well, yeah.
God is that.
Yo.
And all the, what do you call it? Aumakua ikapo, aumakua ikiau.
Wow, yes.
And besides kupuna, I mean, go down the list of all the so-called gods and goddesses.
And all of that takes you all the way back to Genesis.
It does. It does.
You go all the way back to the beginning, the
Yeah.
Kawamamua.
Yes. It really does.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty powerful. Is this the part of your? This might be a deep question,
No,
but
go
is this
ahead.
part of the legacy you want to leave behind for the next generation, or the huakai is not over yet, so it's hard to say.
And a legacy, I don't think that's a legacy because it's a development. And a legacy, I'll tell you what is a legacy if it continues. Mary Monarch, my legacy there, but nobody's recognized it. I opened the door for the male competition.
Wow.
I have a letter from Dottie, written in pencil, and my own students. This is Bailey. Yes. Jim and I. When there was a it used to be the Kumuhula all met before the contest and after the contest. And Jim and I suggested that they have a male competition.
For real?
Yes. Do you know what happened?
They said no.
They laughed at us, but pursued. And then they thought about it.
Because hula at the time was perceived as a wahine vale no.
Right.
Yeah, only women can do hula.
Right.
Poina no that hula was also kane.
Yes. And that happened. And nobody knows this, so now everybody's going to know it, right?
Now,
Oh, sorry.
this,
That's Arabic. Inshallah. Sorry.
I never knew you were so multilingual.
Oh, I'm now neither here nor there. We lived in Iraq for 5, Jim lived 6, 7 years. And we, the family, lived 5 years.
Wow, for real?
Yeah. So some of the Iraqi Arabic comes out.
You spent 5 years of your life, sure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story. So
Yes,
let's go back
that's
to
part 2. So the Mary Monarch and the hula kane.
That's my legacy. I look that as my legacy
Wow.
for the rest of the Kumu.
Paved the way for Daryl Lupinui.
Exactly. And it was because they were behind us it was at the gym at that time. And we noticed these big guys behind us, so interested in what's going on the floor. And that's when then Jim said, men used to dance. You're right, Jim. Okay, let's do it.
One of the pictures, in fact, there's a picture by one of the original sketchers or artists that depicts hula kane.
Yes.
With a large uli and the tatau on his kino.
Yeah.
That's really interesting that that was not a consideration for the Mary Monarch when it was first conceived.
No. Yeah.
And Jim had the foresight.
Yes, he did.
Wow, there should be a trophy named after him.
No, we don't want any trophies or anything like that. Then my other legacy, I say my other legacy, but it's really, I talk things over with Jim to feel how he feels.
Aye.
But anyway, is up at Kokee in October, the second Saturday of October. It's Eoe Emalani I Alakai
Oh.
festival. It's a one-day festival celebrating Queen Emma's trek up to
Okay.
to Alakai.
Wow.
That's why we put Alakai in there, and to Kilohana Lookout to the other side of the island.
Wow, there's kauna in that.
Yes.
Huge kauna.
Yeah. And there's a big story behind that. And last, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Charlani Kalama, her film with Tony and the young girl from Kauai, and I don't know who else. They made a PBS, filmed their huakai to Queen Emma's festival. And I watched it this time with Jim. I said, Jim, we have 2 TVs. I watch
Oh, you're
mine,
moving up?
and he watches his. I don't like to watch sports and Fox and those news broadcasts. I even watch cartoons. But anyway, PBS, and I came in, Jim, turn to channel 10. And let's watch this. And then afterwards I said, you know, Jim, I feel so proud that I had opened the doors to enable Charlani, to enable more halals, to visit the different places of Kauai and to perform. They all performed at the Emalani Festival.
Wow.
That, for me, is a legacy. And just one sentence. At that time, Marcia Erickson was the executive director. I happened to be on the board for Hui Olaka. And so she called me and said, let's talk. We need to bring, and it's after one hurricane, or was it 2?
Iniki. Eva.
It might have been after Eva, or it might have been after Iniki. No, after Eva. And she says, we need to bring the local people up here. At that time, the buses, tourist buses, used to go up.
Yeah.
And the local people who went up were basically hunters, basically, or lay makers. So we sat on the curb at the park area, Hulu, Kanaloa. Anyway, I'm forgetting. I
Is that-
didn't have my afternoon nap.
Is that the question that came to me when you had mentioned it was, is Hui Olaka, is it still in operation today?
Oh, yes.
And are they growing? Are they the same? Like,
You know, I can't answer that anymore because I'm not on the board and I'm not an active participant. I don't live on Kauai anymore.
but you guys were the ones that initiated it.
Yeah, I
You
was
had to-
president of Hui Olaka
Right on.
at that time of the board. So
you're absolutely right. That is a legacy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's 31 years.
Wow. Now that's rich.
It
That's
is.
beautiful.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's not your touristic
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
And I had to remind Marcia several times over the years, Marcia, I don't want this to be a hula show.
Yes, exactly.
This is a real story. Let's keep it real. I was on the phone when you were here. That's who I was talking.
Oh.
Not to Marcia, but somebody on Hui Olaka to say, maintain that integrity of the real story of Queen Emma and King Kamehameha IV.
Yeah, don't go making up your own. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I was really proud of a couple of the halal, well, more than couple, after 31 years. More of them are beginning to hui because they have the same teacher, and I've been trying to get them to hui and even set the example of us from all over the world, but 31 years it's taking.
At least it took 31 years now, right? So now the canoe can
finally make headway. You know,
yeah.
it's breaking,
Yeah.
but it's not really. And some of these halals have done research work. And I'm going, oh, this is nice. One came in carrying a handful of carnations. And their research work was Kamehameha the Fourth used to go in at a certain time and give the patients in their Queen's Hospital, what is now known as Queen's Hospital, carnations. And what is the carnation? Poni mo'i. The mo'i has love, aloha for you, and he goes there.
Ke ala no poni mo'i.
Mo'i, yeah. And so they came and carrying this and gave people the carnation. That is spiritual humanity. It's wonderful. And one year...
Where else are you going to go and have haumana just really emote and reflect this?
But they're not my haumana.
It's
Now, you know, they're Puluelo's haumana. They're Kauilani's haumana. And that's what I'm proud of.
In other words, they've taken the kuleana. They
Finally.
understand it. Rather than this being a show about hula, it's a show that's about something far deeper.
Yes.
And just to have the example of, and the kauna behind the sharing of the giving of these carnations, how many people even tell that story? And that's one of those treasures we're missing if we don't do that and
Yes.
emulate it.
And I would like to see them do more research and do a hula or a tableau or something that reflects our monarchy.
I can see us doing a whole different production that tells the mo'olelo of na mo'i o na moku o Hawaii o Kohoi Paeina,
Yeah.
and really tell their story,
Yes.
not our interpretation of it.
No.
You know, eia no ike a mo'olelo oyai o no. This is the true story
Yep.
of all of these men and women.
Yes.
Who
Who
had-
loved their people. They had aloha
He aloha no.
for their people, for the land, for the culture, for everything Hawaii. I mean, they were the guardians. They had a job to do, and they did it.
And to borrow your expression when we started this conversation, they didn't have to put a label on it.
No,
They just lived it.
yes, they did. And it's so wonderful. You know, it's tears, yeah.
I'm that close.
Yeah, me too.
I think we're going to stop.
Okay.
I want to just take a breath
Yeah.
and take a breather. Because as soon as you started talking about Eala no Poni Mo'i, I was like, oh my gosh, nobody's told that mo'olelo before.
Yeah.
And it's a when you understand the whole story, Alexander Liholiho, the young prince, yeah. Those kinds of epic events.
And you know, the Anglican, they brought the Anglican church in.
Yes, that's right.
And they were made saints.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that until
Kamehameha
about
IV and Queen Emma.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I learned that maybe 4 years ago.
Wow.
And well, also about 4 years ago, Leo translated the Book of Common Prayer into Hawaiian.
Yeah.
And you go, wow.
Yeah, I started reading that.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. It's interesting because it's his hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, or maybe, anyway, 2 years ago, I learned, besides Queen Emma and St. Andrew's Priory,
Right.
of which one of the political candidates with her pitch stood in front of the bust of Queen Emma, and she said, I went to the monarchy's school.
Wow.
And I'm going, okay, you went to, and there's Queen Emma, and then a quick brush, Kennedy Hall, you went to the Episcopal school. So did your family have money to be able to afford that?
Sure.
Yes. Anyway, you know, these questions pop up, and she was Japanese, is Japanese.
You bring up an interesting point, is because sometimes we look but we don't see,
Yes.
because we see so busy looking at the surface. We
Yes.
don't get the Hawaiian people are very deep spiritual people.
Yes.
And they learn to read between the lines and pass,
Yes.
because that's when your true Ike starts to manifest
Right.
itself. And you can tell a person either their intention or their objective is either pono or heva.
Right.
You'll know.
Right. So it made me question, and then, okay, she was proud enough to say the Marnakis. And thank you very much. But 2 years ago, my student who teaches on Oahu showed our film on Keahua Laka. The venue was at St. Andrew's Cathedral in one of their
Wow.
conference rooms.
The altar of Laka in
Right. And I had them build the altar of Laka in this conference room. That was their test. You know, I had gone there to teach some of these haumana, the altar. And then I questioned why, you know. And then, why did you put it here? But anyway,
Aye.
and
Because they have to understand why they're doing it, right?
they do. Yes.
And because if you don't understand, then kapulu kapakahi.
That's right. Yes. And they forgot one thing, the guest book.
Oi. Awe.
But that's water under the bridge. And in there came De Silva, Mapuana, and my cousin, what's his name? Composer, researcher from Honaunau family. Anyway, sorry, I've forgotten your name. That's what happens when I don't get enough rest.
That's all right. We have enough. I mean, we're going to be coming back and doing more of these in impromptu sessions.
Anyway, one of her students, Ha'aheo, she is studying to be a minister.
Oh, yeah?
She's in charge, or was, I don't know if she still heads, Matsunaga's Peace.
Wow.
And so
As in Sparky Matsunaga.
Sparky Matsunaga, you know, he formed this organization for peace.
Yeah, Peace Coalition.
Yep.
I think it's
And
yeah,
Ha'aheo is,
Yeah.
she's Dr. Anyway, she said to me, let me take you and give you a tour of this place. Now, I'm an Episcopalian, which is Anglican church, right? Oh, here's a complication. I'm an Episcopalian, baptized and confirmed. I'm also a Mormon. That's why I used to have Mormons come to see me.
Baptized and confirmed.
Yeah, because of tu keli'iwalai ole ke oleva. Anyway, but we all traveled the same path.
That's interesting because that's a very Hawaiian kind of thing to do, right? The duality of all things.
Yes. So she took me on a tour, and there were some old photos in there, in this tour of all the different rooms they had from the different donors. And Queen Liliuokalani also donated a portion of her land to build
I did not know that.
St. Andrew's Cathedral. And her home is right next door. And I'm going, the church needs more people. They need more people to know this.
Yeah. Tell this mo'olelo.
Yeah.
Ha'i this mo'olelo. Because it's pono, it's
Yes.
oia'i'o,
Yes.
it's mana, it's kalahui.
Yes, it is kalahui.
If you look back, that's probably not the right question to ask, but
Oh, that's all right.
when you reflect on the past,
That's looking back.
who is the person that stands out the most, that has had the greatest influence?
You know, before we had heroes and heroines,
Yeah.
you know, they divided male and female. Well, when you say heroin now, they think of the thing you inject. So now they call it, what do they call it? Think of the English word they call it.
Like,
Oh, darn. Anyway.
yeah, I know what you're saying. Crack.
No,
not crack,
not for that heroin. For somebody you admire.
Oh, for me, it's the Marvel Universe. You know, you got Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, all these guys.
no.
But real heroes,
A human person you admired.
idol.
No, it's not that word either. But anyway,
Icon?
nope. Icon is something else. I think it's an M word.
That's funny you say hero, and here he is standing with his hands on his, like when hero. M.
M. Somebody you want to emulate.
Master.
What?
Master.
Master. Almost. It's
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Betsy. Betsy John. You know, I went to school in Lahaina. Smart, beautiful, talented, and a leader. I admired her. I don't think I ever told her that.
What were some of the things that she's done to?
Because she's smart, she had leadership qualities. She could sing, she could talk.
Yeah.
I really admired her. And she was sociable.
Isn't she one of the kupunas that was also instrumental in getting the Nameleo Maui, laying the groundwork for Nameleo Maui?
I wouldn't call her one of the kupunas because she worked with the kupunas.
To make it happen.
Yeah, which is Auntie Emma,
Yep, that's right.
Mom and Dad,
Yeah.
and I don't know who else. But anyway, it's
Yeah.
the older ones, but she worked with them. So, and Laurie Sablas worked
Yep.
with, there were so many people who worked with the elders. Maybe Mrs. Silva was also one of them. I'm not sure.
That's when Nameleo Maui was Nameleo Maui.
Yes,
Now it's Nameleo,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
It's transitioned to something else.
Yeah, and you could see it, you could feel it, you could hear it.
Yeah.
What are, or who was the Kumu Hula
Auntie Emma was
that
the,
stands out for you?
well, she was the kumuhula primarily of the island,
Yeah.
and she also taught at the University of Hawaii in summer sessions or whatever session. We moved to Lanai, and Mom taught hula.
Was Mom Hula Haumana of Auntie Emma?
I would say yes. There were a lot of elderly people, and Mom and the twins, the Cockett twins,
Oh, yeah.
Nani and Sarah, and Mrs. Osmansky, and I don't know.
Oh,
there's-
this is way back in the 70s, yeah?
before.
Before,
that.
yeah, like 60s, yeah.
Yeah, they all dance hula, and my classmate's mom. Anyway, Mrs. Apo, there was a whole.
Oh, Mrs. Apo.
Yeah, there was a whole group of people, Hawaiians too, and danced with Auntie Emma, and I enjoyed watching them because they had fun. They knew the risque versions of the mele.
Yeah, they
Not
knew how to
all.
be. They
Yeah.
knew how to be kolohe with style.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And Mom learned her hula from Tutu Lydia in Kona.
Wow.
Tutu Lydia Kekueva. Tutu Lydia was, she was from Maui. The composer of E Kolu Mea Nui Makaho Nui.
Oh, yeah.
Sister to him. And she married a Kekueva uncle, Tutu Obed.
You know, you mentioned a lot of songs during the session. I really like come back and have a kanikapila session and do some of that music and maybe have you hula some of these stories.
I don't play ukulele.
I play. I play, you hula.
Do you know what I did? Dad tried to teach me to play, and my fingers are, I'll say, lolo.
They made for ili ili.
They're made for
yeah,
dancing
yeah.
and
Yeah.
anyway,
That's how you tell your story.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I got impatient. I had piano lessons and I flunked that one too. It was so boring. Dun, 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 dun. But nowadays they have different methods of teaching music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I probably would belong to that, but it's too late for me. However, when I was teaching on Kauai, one of my students, she was a little over 6 feet, haole lady, and she was a musician, and she said, I can teach your students music. So my students, the kids primarily, the adults too, but I wanted the children to have this kind of background.
Mm-hmm.
And so she taught them ukulele, piano, upright bass,
Wow.
and somebody else played the guitar, or she taught guitar. So eventually these kids could play their own music.
You have your own show?
That's right. And that I credit Auntie Kau'i.
Wow.
She said, make your own instruments, have your own musicians. I credit Auntie
Yeah.
Kau'i for that. And
Now your own village can travel with you and tell the mo'olelo.
yeah,
Yeah, your mo'olelo to you.
yeah. So, but that's me, and that's in the past.
Well, I get in the queue from the cameraman, so I want to just go ahead and say mahalo once again to Roselle.
And all of that illustrates aloha.
Oh, there's more. There's more. This is only
Oh.
part one. We're coming back for more. So until we meet again, everybody, e ho'omau no ike aloha no ka ike kupuna wa kahiko. Yeah, keep the ike of aloha alive. And may your life be richly blessed. And may you continue to find your aloha in your neck of the woods. Until we meet again, aloha no. Ahui ho.
Ahui ho. That's nice. Thank you.
Wow, this was awesome.
Are you warmed up? Okay, what song are you going to do? Are you all agreeable? Namakani eha?
Hi.
Okay, singing and. God.
nani maori no. Kaweke no oe, kawike lai. Vehi no kui nui kino. Ho'i mai au ia nei. Kaulu vehi o ke ko'ola. Me kale. I ka makani. Dun, 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 dun.